Hi there, students. To go over somebody's head. We can use this in two different ways. Firstly, I could go over somebody's head. So instead of asking my boss, I ask my boss's boss. So I've gone over my boss's head. This is to take up an issue or to talk about something with a person who is superior to the person you originally dealt with. So I went to the shop and made a complaint, and I complained to the salesperson. But then I went over the salesperson's head and talked to the manager of the shop. And then I went over the head of the manager and talked to the CEO of the company. And this is the idea of going over somebody's head. So, for example, if your boss says no, you can go over his head and ask your boss's boss. Although this is going to make your boss probably very angry. How dare you go over my head like that? I asked my boss for some days off and he refused. So I went over his head and talked to the chairman of the company. Okay, and this is the idea of one of the ideas of going over somebody's head, to speak to someone superior rather than talking to them directly. Now, if something goes over your head, you don't understand it. You don't understand it completely. It escapes you. I listened to all of the technical explanation that he gave, but the explanation went over my head. I didn't understand it. It was something that I just couldn't understand. So if something's not understood, it's just too complicated or too subtle for their comprehension. So John's jokes always go over my head, and I can never understand them. Other people seem to think they're funny, but they go over my head. There's something I don't understand because maybe they're too complicated for me. I've been trying to read this book, but most of it I don't understand. It just goes over my head. This article is too technical. It goes over my head. The explanation you gave me just went completely over my head. So either to go over the head of someone in authority, you communicate directly with a person in a higher position, a higher authority, to try to get what you want. But this normally is not very good policy, and people will get angry with you. Yeah, don't break office protocol by going over your boss's head. I was told off for trying to go over the head of the manager of our department and talking to the owner of the company. So to speak to or to ask for permission from someone with more authority than the person you would normally go to. So I wanted a few days off, and my boss was refusing, so I went over his head to somebody more important. And then the explanation that they gave me went over my head. I just didn't get it. I didn't see it. Okay, so to discuss something with someone who is higher in rank, to bypass your superior and go to somebody higher in rank than that. I went over my boss's head and complained to the president of the company. I told my boss that what the company was doing was immoral, but he said he didn't care. So I went over his head. And then something that goes over your head is something that you don't understand. It's just too difficult. So this book is completely over my head. I just don't understand it. Okay, so either you're appealing to higher authority, trying to get what you want, or you just don't understand it at all. You just don't get it. So the explanation went completely over my head. Yeah, it was too high. It was too intelligent. It was too intellectual for my understanding. So let's see. To go over somebody's head, I went over my boss's head. I think I'm going to give this a 4 informality. And this concept of went over my head is over my head, maybe 4.5 informality. But for both of them, use informally, using a semi-formal conversation, a semi-formal writing, but stop there. So over someone's head, to go over someone's head, something goes over someone's head.